was your favorite abuse story?
What was my favorite abuse story of the year?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Not as in which one did you like the best. I'm just saying.
How else can I respond to that?
I don't know. It's a loaded question.
All right. So all right. Well, if I have to answer,
don't answer this.
So Ryan, we saw a few movies together this year. We saw Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. We saw Kong Skull Island.
Yeah.
I'm sure we saw another forgettable movie somewhere along the way.
Somewhere, yeah.
You saw Thor Ragnarok.
I did see Thor Ragnarok. And out of those three, Guardians, Kong, and Thor Ragnarok, I do think Thor Ragnarok was the best.
So I'm putting together a team. Like the old days. Surprise!
So like a lot of the Marvel movies have just been like fan service for like the last few years, and a lot of them are bogus, as we saw with Guardians. But Thor Ragnarok, I think they let the director, I can't pronounce his name. Who's that New Zealand director?
He did What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Tom, who's the guy that did What We Do in the Shadows?
Tila.
Tatia Tikimata.
So Tiki Barber.
The New Zealand director with the difficult name to pronounce directed it, and you could really feel like there was a lot of his vision in the movie, which I liked. And the other part I liked about it was just that it was really funny. It was his sense of humor too. It was that like super dry New Zealand, like Flight of the Conchords style sense of humor.
And the set design looked really great from it too. It sort of looked like they took what they liked in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and just enhanced it.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I think my favorite part was just the very dry humor that they involved in. And they didn't try to cram too much typical Marvel jerk-offery into it. Like, one of the reasons I really don't like the Avengers movies and stuff is because they're just cramming in cameos and cramming in references to the point where there's no movie left to form around the references and the cameos. But I liked Thor Ragnarok. Now, you know, not a great work of art or anything, but enjoyable. So I'm gonna drop some heat right now, and I'm not talking about poop. I'm talking about the other poop that was Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Every civilization was built off the back of a disposable workforce. But I can only make so many. Happy birthday.
Hey, we saw that together.
We did, and I think we both fell asleep at different points.
We did see it at like 10 p.m.
Yes,
after work.
But I'm able to stay up during movies, unless they're really boring.
I like Blade Runner. I saw it 1.5 times.
Oh.
Because I saw it the first time and I realized, maybe I shouldn't say this because my mom's going to watch, but I left the stove on at my house. On low, Mom. It was very low. It was all the way on low. And I left the movie halfway because I just couldn't think about the movie anymore. I was like, but the stove is on. I'm going to burn my house down, so I had to leave. But when I saw it again, it was really great.
Nice.
I love the cinematography. Deakins is amazing. All the moving lights in it and like the ripple effects are like great. I love all the water imagery in Blade Runner and all of like the rebirth and themes.
I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was beautifully shot. I thought it was really true to the original. I really like that they continued the world that the original created. You know, they didn't like make it today.
Did you see the shorts that they put out before the movie?
Not.
No, they put out like a bunch of like little shorts.
Oh, cool.
There's like an animated film by the guy who directed Samurai Champloo and Cowboy Bebop.
Okay.
And another has like Jared Leto in it and stuff. I like that they are expanding that.
They expanded
world.
that universe.
Did you find it too slow at all?
No, not at all. I thought it moved at a great pace for what they were trying to do. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I think it's one of the best movies that came out this year.
I gotta disagree with you, Elaina.
I really love the line when Harrison Ford says to Kay, Ryan Gosling's
Doesn't
character.
matter.
He says something along the lines of like, "Who am I to you?"
Oh.
And I think that that's the movie.
Oh, I
is
see.
right. Who is he to him? Also, who is he? Also, are they human? Also, does it matter? Like, there's so much in that line.
I think the movie is a different Harrison Ford line. I think the movie is when Kay asks if the dog is real, and Harrison Ford goes, "Doesn't matter."
Right. Also
I think
terrific.
that's it.
Yeah. I think they kind of work in tandem, those two lines.
It's a little boring, but I think it also, in its defense, had a little more on its mind than most, sci-fi fare that is being produced today.
I don't think it did.
Is there a movie that you didn't like?
Yeah, you are familiar with the one I didn't like. I don't really want to bash movies, but I didn't like Mother. It's not really about this, but it's about a bunch of people constantly moving into a house, and it's horror. And that should have been like the most fun film of the year.
Right.
Is just, it's insane. It's just people coming into your house. It's crazy. I felt like from the very beginning, it was clear that it was nothing but a metaphor.
Right.
Or several metaphors, all working at once. And because of that, there was nothing to be intrigued by and no stakes, really. You could be this metaphor film and, we actually care about the characters, or you could be one that's insane and we still have something there. There's still a character to follow. And in this one, not only was it just from the get-go, okay, like there's nothing, there's nothing to anchor this. But I also didn't care if you did look at it as these are real characters. I saw Jumanji. I'd call it a decent, fun family film. It's not the original Jumanji by any stretch. They don't have a lot of fun with animals, which is weird.
I wanted to see that. That's on my list.
That's right, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
What did you think about Mother?
Well, I liked it because it was like somebody told Aronofsky the Cliff Notes version of the Old Testament, and then he wrote a movie based on that.
Sure.
And I liked that. I liked that it was just like this disjointed, like kind of biblical story, and I liked that it made you kind of go the whole time like, what the fuck is happening? Urgency. Like, there's no urgency.
Right. But see, I do like that. I like the lack of urgency. I like that surreal, what is this garbage?
Like this
but that's not an
dream.
attack on the film. I mean the garbage of people coming in. But that's what I mean. I should have loved a film like that. And instead, I made a face I never made at a movie before during it.
What face? Can you make it now?
Oh, it's impolite because I respect filmmakers and I like Aronofsky otherwise. But you got a glimpse of that face in that face.
For a friend's birthday, I went to see the Kingsmen sequel.
Being a Kingsman is more than the clothing we wear or the weapons we bear. It's about being willing to sacrifice for the greater good.
I didn't really like the first one. I thought the first one was another... That's a movie that's embarrassingly immature. I don't really have a lot of fun. It's not really exciting. The action is fake and it's all forced and it's just terrible. And the second one was the same thing. It was just terrible. I didn't care. I don't like any of the actors. I didn't like the story. There's a part in the Kingsman sequel where the main kid has to hide a tracking device inside of a woman's vagina. Julianne Moore, though, is the bad guy, and she's a lot of fun, but it's just such a stupid movie. It's a shame, because she makes an excellent villain, and I would love to see another movie where Julianne Moore is the villain. So I hated that.
Logan Lucky was a fun time at the movies.
Are you ready? Yeah.
You certain?
No.
This is gonna be good.
Seen that? Seen what? I need you to focus here. This woman needs containing.
How goes it? Now there are no ones. How do you think it's going?
That looks like it hurt.
Hopefully you'll have beginner's luck getting it into first.
A little intense for the kids, ain't it? No, they love it.
Probably the best movie-going experience I had this year was when we and Dorian went to go see Logan Lucky, Steven Soderbergh's new comedy heist movie. Hell of a good time.
A very pleasant film.
Very pleasant. And very clever.
Which is very interesting that
Yeah.
they would vary. Use vary a lot. That they would go, not that it didn't call for being pleasant, but I was a little surprised at just the fact that it was quaint. It's a quaint heist film.
Yeah, and I like what he's doing because I feel like it's both a critique about that part of the country, which in this case is West Virginia, and about sort of America and where we are now, without really being condescending.
It wasn't critical.
No.
Well, it wasn't
in ways. I don't think it's condescending to those people.
Right. It wasn't nasty.
Yeah. Which, as you know, when you think of Soderbergh, you don't really often think of him as an open-hearted kind of guy.
I love Joe Bang just because it was so weird to see Daniel Craig in that kind of a role, and I love that he always was eating eggs. That was just such a weird character
Having
trait.
a blast, right? The whole cast was having a good time.
They were having a good time.
But it wasn't one of those movies where they're having fun and we're not. You know, they're having fun acting, you know?
You're
not
having a
just
good
hanging
time
around.
too. I don't know why it's not getting as much attention either, I guess.
It seems as though people who make an effort to get out to the movies know it, and everyone I've talked to seems to love it.
Yeah.
I think this whole thing will just, you know, anytime Logan Lucky's brought up, people seem to...
Yeah, I haven't heard any bad reviews of Logan Lucky, really.
Country Roads was in 3 films this year. Go.
Logan Lucky.
Alien Covenant. And
Wonder
Kingsmen
Wheel,
2.
Woman Wheel.
Isn't that interesting?
Let's blow this time.
Rated PG-13.
Before you see a movie at AMC is when they tell you that if there's, an incident like a shooting or something, they tell you to exit the theater and move far away. And I always take that as move to like a different, like move to a different town. It was, one of those ideas funnier in my head. And when I said it to your cold, dead eyes, it wasn't as funny.
Tom, have you seen Wakefield?
Yes, I saw Wakefield.
What'd you think?
Suburban life. So much is the same. Week after week. Who hasn't had the impulse to put their life on hold for a moment? Just vanish completely.
So Cranston's a blacklisted meth dealer, and he decides to live above his garage, just as sort of an experiment for laughs at first, and then he wants to see what happens to his family if he just stays up there, and nobody cares.
Yeah.
Including the audience.
I actually have to agree. I enjoyed the movie. But it's with a lot of caveats. It's it's a great performance from Cranston, but
He's kind of phoning it in.
But there's nothing particularly innovative about it. It's nothing we haven't seen him. That's what he does. Middle-aged white guy. It goes into a fugue state.
Yeah, fugue state.
Yeah. It's really self-absorbed. It's hilarious that he's living in the fucking garage. Like, you're gonna stumble upon him. You can't go. How long does it last? 8 months. You're gonna find the guy.
What does he pee in?
Huh? It's through the window, the porthole.
Does he?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
No, it's been a while.
I don't really go into those details.
It's a little awkward that the plot hinges on a group of mentally handicapped children.
Yeah, that was bullshit.
It seems a little arbitrary. I think it's kind of a cowardly ending in that it's very non-committal. I would have liked to have seen what happened after. I mean, I know that a lot of movies kind of end on this, like, is this going to happen? Is that going to happen? But I think, like, maybe a definitive answer on this would have made it more of an interesting experience for me.
How far am I willing to let this go?
I think the ending is one of the few things I actually liked about the movie, strangely enough.
I
like the framing of that last shot through the window.
Agreed. I think that's handled actually really well. I enjoyed that.
Is his wife Jennifer Garner in that movie?
It is.
That's a weird match.
It is a weird match. It doesn't really work. You actually convinced me that I don't like this movie as much as when we talked about it 6, 7, 8 months ago.
I'll become the Howard Wakefield I was meant to be.
What was your favorite character of the year? I'm dying.
I don't know. I haven't given much thought to that.
Mine was Bad Ape.
From War
From
for
the new Planet of the Apes.
That was good. I liked it.
Did you like Bad Ape?
Who's Bad Ape?
He was the ape who called himself Bad Ape because when he was in the zoo, all the zookeepers called him Bad Ape so much that they thought that was his name.
I like the Steve Zahn character.
That was Bad Ape.
Oh, that's Bad Ape. All right. Yeah, he was pretty good.
Yeah, that was Bad Ape.
Will Andy Serkis ever get an Oscar nomination?
I think Steve Zahn should get
He should, right? Wouldn't that be great? Oscar nominations morning. Let's talk about Don Hertzfeldt. Do you want? Do you want to? Oh, come on.
Oh, no, that's me saying yes.
Okay. So the great iconoclast
Don Hertzfeldt.
the great Don Hertzfeldt, animator.
He did it again.
He did it again. He's made some of the most classic,
Let's
enduring
not tell
shorts.
them the title of this one now.
No, yeah, we'll get to it. We'll make them anticipate it a little bit.
The creator of Rejected Cartoons and everything.
It's Such a Beautiful Day, World of Tomorrow, which leads us
okay,
to a movie he just released, a short animated film called World of Tomorrow 2. Episode 2. The
Right.
Burden of Other People's Thoughts. If you have any questions about memory and consciousness and the human brain and the future and innocence, then you should probably watch this movie.
It's free flowy philosophy, deadpan philosophy. That's extraordinarily animated and
poetic imagery.
Also very funny, but
Yes.
like moving funny.
Yeah,
Where you
always.
kind of like laugh and you say, "That's profound." Ha 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 ha.
And then you cry. It's available to rent on Vimeo. For now, I don't know. World of Tomorrow 1 is streaming on Netflix, so watch it. And then rent World of Tomorrow 2 and help support true independent filmmakers.
Very true independent.
He does everything on his
Yes.
own, aside from the voices and his constant use of classical music. He animates the films totally by himself, and it's very impressive.
When I go back where I live, I'm going to see the new one, the part 2.
Hi, Mike here from Rabbit Hole TV, here with our mascot Pumpkin. Say hello, Pumpkin. Thanks for watching In the Fold. If you like what you saw, please subscribe. And if you really like what you saw, you can check out our Patreon, where we have behind the scenes photos and videos and other cool stuff if you want to get more involved with the show. Say hi, Pumpkin.